Hi everyone, this is Mary Sutherland. Welcome to our show. I'm hoping everything's going to go great today. It should, because we are actually on we're actually on the old live stream, through Facebook. So yesterday it beat me. My new program beat me, my bridge program. So okay, we can deal with that. I'm licking my wounds today, going back here to the old program of Facebook and licking my wounds. And tomorrow I'll go back to the new program, my bridge program, and I will work on it. It is not, I refuse to let it get the best of me. It's just not in, it's just not in my makeup. So hi, Ellen. Hi, Art. And hi, Yves. Gerald. Mamuhaha. Roger Spur. Roger Spur, you're the one that has the mud fossils, right? Joe Ferguson. Jared Birds. Gerald Pringle. Howdy, Patna. You'll think Patna in January, because we're going to be down there in January, and we're going to go with Gerald, and he's got a gosh darn, he's got a sacred site area that looks just like that. There's that cliff in Peru. They call it the Gateway of the Gods, and it almost looks like there was a laser used on it to create this doorway. And you'll see a lot of researchers investigating it. Ancient Aliens has done shows on it. I think I don't know, but I know that there's a lot of documentaries done on it. So actually, if you wanted to, you could go to you could probably go to YouTube and type in Gateway of the Gods, Peru, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, everybody says it's the only one, right? Well, it's not. Good old Gerald here out of Arizona, he's a researcher. He goes out there and likes to take a lot of pictures of everything. And he came across another one just like that one in Peru, in Arizona. I could say, I think it would be safe to say part of the location. I can't give away all the location, but it's in the Yavapai County. And that's over by, Yavapai is, I guess these could be, sorry, a sneeze is coming up. So, anyhow, we've been invited in January to spend some time with our good friends, Kim and Mark. They're renting a house in New Mexico for the year, or through the winter. So they invited us to go down there, and they said, well, we were going to plan on spending a month down there, but Brad says that friends that stay too long are like, they begin to smell like rotted fish. He says, are you sure that you want to impose on Kim and Mark for a whole month? He says it could, affect your friendship. And I got to think about it. I says, yeah, you're probably right. So anyhow, we're going to stay a week, maybe a week and a half at Kim and Mark's in New Mexico. Then we're heading on over into Arizona. I'm going to meet up with Gerald, and Gerald's going to take me up to that place, so we'll able to actually document it, and I'll put it on our show. It's an amazing place. It's, of course, naturally, it's a vortex. Otherwise, they would have never put something like that there. I slept on my arm, on my shoulder, wrong. And for like the last 2 months, I've been having, it really, really hurts when I lift my arm or drop my elbow or you know, or bend it. And keep hoping, you know, that it'll work itself back in place. But boy, it sure does hurt. Hi, Monica. God bless you too. Hi, Trish. Hi, Art Greenfield. Art, where are you at? Are you in? I'm thinking, where are you? What state are you in? Hi, Sarah. Yesterday, if you notice, I looked pretty tired because I was on that. I had been on that new bridge program for like 4 hours trying to get a show up, and so my eyes were kind of like crossed when I was on here. And it wasn't making much sense either because I was kind of in that world of that bridge program and also in the world of the Facebook. So got a little kind of messed up a little bit. But this is, I don't know. Yeah, you can see it. I just gotta see this. This is why I like that bridge program, is because with the bridge program, I can just take a picture of this and it will be on the screen. But see, there's Wayne May, Lee Pennington, Carl Honke, Anita Meyer, Jay Wakefield, Doug James, Michael Cremo. Remember Michael Cremo? Michael Cremo was the first person that researcher that had the balls to turn around and say man is over millions of years old. It did not go over very well, but he stuck to it. He proved a lot of the stuff out. And now slowly but surely, some of the scientists and archaeologists and that are saying, well, maybe you kind of got a point. So anyhow, that person on the, well, let's see, is here. Let's see, going the wrong way here. Darn it. Let's see. Right there. That's Michael Cremo. It's one of the reasons I wanted to actually go to that that conference. Is I mean, it's not like you get to see Michael Cremo that much. I could not believe that Judy actually got him, and but she did, and it was like, whoa. And the really cool part about it is in my book, The Red-Haired Giants, I talk about the legend of Gouda and Garuda. And I'm sitting there listening to his lecture, and if he turned around and he talked about that legend. Now, I'd had the legend, and I knew that it dated back, you know, to at least Mahabharata. But how old was it? How old was the legend? So he went back millions of years. I'll actually be able to tell you more about that. Like I said yesterday, I have so much information to give to you. In Daniel Zen, I'm glad you're here because I got some very good information on saving our mounds, okay? My trip to Michigan was a total success. Totally 100 to 200% successful. But anyhow, I got to see Michael Cremo. And I got a date, you know, for the age of that legend. Now, the legend, some of you probably have my book, The Red-Haired Giants, but for those that don't, the legend show is pretty much on the flag of Mexico as well as the coat of arms of the United States. And it shows an eagle carrying a snake. And in Mexico's flag, it's the eagle carrying with a snake in its talons, sitting on a saguaro cactus. In the United States, they played with it a little bit. You still have the eagle, but in its talons, it has a ribbon. But that ribbon actually is the serpent. Now, when I first started looking at this legend, I thought that the serpent overcame the eagle overcame the serpent, killed the serpent, which would have been the serpent people. That's where your legends go back to Ireland, where they talk about St. Paddy coming in and killing the serpents. Well, there wasn't really serpents or snakes. They were the serpent people, which is, back then, it would have been the followers of the Celtic traditions. But the legend of Garuda, see, I was thinking that they overcame the serpent people, killed them, but that was not it. When I found the legend of Garuda, I realized that what the feather, well, it actually represented the feathered serpent, the feather of the eagle and the serpent, okay, representing the serpent people, or practices of the ancient wisdoms, right? The ancient knowledges, going back to Osiris, or even further back to the days of Lemuria, or something like that. Hi, Lisa and Sitara, and of course I said hi to Daniel and Carol and Ryan Love. So anyhow, and I'm sure that there's a few more, I just didn't catch you, as it was all these wonderful people were coming in. So anyhow, I realized that when I came across the legend of Garuda, I realized that it was a coming together of two races, thus creating the feathered serpent. And that's why Indians, Native Americans, wear feathers in their hat, or is in representing the feathered serpent. But so anyhow, it was two races. One was the race of the serpent people, and I think that, well, probably as I get into this further, I'll find that it was Lemurians, possibly, or maybe even Hyperboreans. I don't know yet. It's very, very difficult tracing down this legend, but I've been finding little bits and pieces of it for gosh, 6 years, something like that. It's looking for breadcrumbs, and you find them in the weirdest places. So anyhow, here it was that Michael Cremo was there, and he was talking about this legend, and he dated it back millions of years. So something to think about, because we've also found these type of monuments in North America, and I'm working on one right now, the Piazza. It was mentioned in The Exorcist, and it came from there is a drawing of it in Alton, Illinois, and anyhow, that is a little bit different, but there's different variations of everything. I mean, look at how many variations there are of the Virgin Mary, the Holy Mother, and that the Holy Mother actually dates back into the days of Avalon, and she would have been called, the Holy Mother, of Avalon. But so you see, the religions merged into one, came out as pretty much from the Vatican. I guess. So, anyhow, it's been fun. So, I got up there, met with Cremo, showed him my book and my story that I had on the Legend of Garuda, which was really fun because he took the book and he's reading it. And he says to me, he says, I never heard of this stuff. And I says, well, I never heard of what you were talking about either with this legend. So I says, I guess we were meant to be. And so anyhow, I had a good time talking to him. He's getting up there in age, but you know, very approachable, very nice, very willing to share information. Loved his books, but they are kind of, you know, expensive, you know. And then, let's see. And then there was, now this is where you need to pick up Daniel Zen, because this person right there, Bob List, Jim Schwartz. Jim, do you recognize Jim Schwartz? Anybody? He's the one that started the science of astroarchaeology. And is it astroarchaeology? I believe, yeah, astroarchaeology. And he's a professor at University of Wisconsin. He's also an archaeologist. Bob List, the same way. Joan Price, she's also an archaeologist and a professor. And she, oh my God, all three of these people shared so much information with me. But I really liked Bob List and Jim Schwartz. What they did is, everybody knows I've been trying for, oh God, since 2005 to protect the ancient sites, especially down in the Burlington area. And I haven't been very successful. And I've been kind of sad about it because I just didn't know where to go to, how to get it stopped. And so anyhow, I talked to her good friend Joe, and Joe told me, she says, well, let's talk to Judy and get you up here to this conference and you speak on your dilemma. So I said, okay. So anyhow, thanks to Joe and Judy, I was managed to get up there, and I ran into these two fellas, archaeologists, both and ancient earthworks, so much, 30 years, I mean, so much knowledge and credentials, you know. And anyhow, this Jim Schwartz, like I said, 30 years professor at the University of Wisconsin, I went up to him and he was starting to talk to me, and he says, and I says, well, I'm Mary Sutherland. And he says, oh, I know who you are. And I says, you do? And he says, yeah. He says, we've been following your work for years. Or, I've been following your work for years. Now, this is a professor at the University of Wisconsin, you know, in archaeology. And this is the one that started the branch of astroarchaeology. And he says, I've been following your work for years. And he says, I know that you're having problems with these mounds. And he says, I'm just the man that you need to talk to. And he wrote down all these names for me that are friends with him, and they've all worked on saving the ancient mounds. And so they're going to, he said that he will work with me along with his associates, working with me, and thus working with all of you, to save the mounds in the Burlington, Wisconsin area. And he said, and there's even more, but anyhow, that's these two. And then they gave me the names of the Wisconsin Archaeological Department, the name of the Wisconsin Historical Society, names. Oh my gosh, he gave me 2 pages of names that are willing to work with me, because they've been watching, seeing what I've been going through, trying to save these. And he says, you know what you're known for, don't you? And I says, what? He says, you're the guardian. the guardian of the sacred sites of the Burlington area. That's how we refer to you, is the sacred guardian. And it's like, wow, cool. And I thought, here I was out there on my own, not much people recognizing what I was doing, except the ones that thought that I was trying to be a troublemaker. So I really felt good over the fact that there were so many people that have been watching me very quietly through the years. I suppose they didn't want to come out because they were, watching me. Was I for real? And when I finally went up there and called for help, they were all there for me. Now, Joan Price, all you see is a picture of an Indian here. So, but anyhow, Joan Price, she's also was an archaeologist, and she's got several different degrees, through the University of Wisconsin, I think down in Texas, I'm not sure. And anyhow, she had done several different documentaries and wrote books on Native American Indian traditions. And how she did it was she actually lived among the Native Americans for years and got their stories. So anyhow, she had, 2 years ago, she had contacted me because she had been following my work on Epsilon. And my theory that the people of Canary Island were part of the migration to Epsilon, Wisconsin. And so, but there was one thing in my book. Hi, Claire. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Alan. But there was one thing in my book, and I wrote, in the Red-Haired Giants, I wrote about these people that lived in the northern part of Wisconsin, the Epsilon area, and down through into Burlington now, and they were called the Teleguas, and they were described, or Telegua, or we both work, but they were described as giants, and they were more of a farming community. They had built wooden forts. They had built canals, water canals for transportation. They were the more of the serpent culture or nature worshippers or sun followers. It's all to do with astroarchaeology. And so they had lived there for many, many years, many generations. And they lived in Epsilon, you still see it. There's a walled fortress. The Native Americans lived on the outside of it. They lived on the inside. Eventually, they learned to trust each other and, opened it up for the Native Americans. But the story goes in my book that there was this runner that came into Epsilon, or into that area, up into this particular area, up into Michigan as well, and told them that the great beast had arrived. And so this great beast, I figured what it was like a tribe, migrating, landing on the eastern coastline, and probably going up through the Lawrence River, maybe up into Canada and dropping on down. But I never had I had the Native Americans through the Red Records explain, what had happened. But I never could ever, in all these years, could never get the name of these who the great beast was, because these people, the Chaligua, they actually packed up and left. You know, they battled for some time, but then eventually left. And what had happened was they went down into Mexico and down, you know, and created the Aztec religion as well as the Mayan. So, and they stayed down there for some time, and then you hear about them migrating north again, which most of your archaeologists and historians and that would like to have you think that that was the first migration of the Aztec and Mayan coming up, but it's not. They were up here already, migrated down to Mexico, then started the Aztec and the Mayan civilizations. Generations and generations went by, and eventually the newer generations had heard about the copper trade, and that their people had at one point in time lived in the Asalon area. So they migrated back up here again. And that's where you hear about these people migrating into Wisconsin. Or you'll hear about these outside sources coming to Wisconsin and other parts of North America. But they were coming here because this is where their people was. Okay? They had heard the stories of Absalom. They had heard the stories about the copper mining, you know, and the bronze civilizations. And so they were just coming home. And this has been my lifetime work, is trying to prove this out. Then I run into Joan Price, Dr. Joan Price. And she had lived among the Indians for years, getting their stories. Hi, Paul. I don't know if you joined, or I still have to. I keep forgetting to send that chili menu to you, Paul. Maybe I'll try to remember it tonight and get that going. It's fast, so you can make it within half an hour. So, but anyhow, so I ran into Joan. I ran into her again, and up there, and I got a lot of information from her first book. So I thought, I wonder what else she's got in that little book of hers. So I went and I got her book, and I listened to her lecture too. I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to get her book, is because she had the missing links that I've been looking for all these years, to show me who the heck this beast was, the great beast that had arrived on the East Coast, that frightened everybody so much. To find out, it was, lo and behold, what we call today the Sauk and the Fox Indians. This migration was so huge that, I mean, it was a whole nation of people. And they came in, and they just probably just kind of came in and just kind of took over North America. But they were so big that they had to eventually break their sizes down into tribes. And thus comes your Indian tribes, you know, the names of the Indian tribes, like the Fox and the Sauk and the Lakota and people like that. But at one point in time, they were all from that one nation. And this is all based, well, I actually came across, I've got the names of all the tribes and things and how the breakdown was when they came through and destroyed, you know, the red-haired giants, and they kept going down, 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 and into the Appalachian Mountains, I think it was, and that's pretty much where they stopped for a while, and then they went on into Florida and continued. But so anyhow, I had all that, but who were the people called the Great Beast? I just did not have that. And thank you, Joan, for sharing that information with me. And if you want information on it, what I did is, because I had Joan's pamphlet on it, or book, but that she gathered from other people, but it was all in a book. So I took the information that I didn't know about, and I sat down for 2 days and wrote and combined Joan's information with my information, and I put it up in my group, facebook.com/groups/Mary Sutherland. So you can go in there and you can actually read how the sock and the fox and all those guys came to be here in North America, or in this area. And what's cool about it is both Joan and I agree, because she got a lot of her information from the Mahabharata and the Puranas, the ancient Vedic texts. And see, I did too. That's how I knew about Krishna flying here to North America. And we also, and through the tales of the legends of Garuda, it comes the story of Vishnu bringing Vishnu here, Garuda bringing Vishnu here, and on its wings. So we got the serpent race, and we have the bird, which would, oh God, I just had it. So they came. Oh, I know what it was. So there you go with UFO. Not alien UFO, but the ancient Vimanas. Vishnu came here by flight on an ancient, or on a Vimana. And these Vimanas are talked about forever in your Vedic texts. So when ancient aliens gets on and says, well, we got all this high technology, and we got these planes, we got these helicopters, and we got submarines and stuff like that. Yes, we do. But that doesn't necessarily mean it was alien technology. From what the Mahabharata says, that this was ancient human technology, but it was given to them by the people from the stars. So we have had visitors from other places here, from the other galaxies here, but a lot of the technology that ancient aliens are finding is human, okay, based off alien. So anyhow, I was very, very, very pleased to have reconnected with Professor Joan Price. And she is going to, okay, because see, now I wanted to set up, maybe grasping, I wanted to set up some sort of a nonprofit organization to save these mounds. And I thought, well, if I can get somebody that knows how to do it, well, then maybe I can get, maybe I can have an advantage, going to these museums and getting into places that I couldn't necessarily get into. Because, see, I think small. So anyhow, Dr. Joan Price was there. She says, Mary, I know how to do all that. And this other, and let's see, it would have been Jim Schwartz. Yeah, this guy here, the guy in the white, the guy that works, has worked as a professor at UW for 30 years. They said, we'll help you. But why just stop there? Because we can design, a nonprofit for you where you can get grants, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. The grant money is just sitting there. So if you word it right, and I think they said to start it up as a foundation. The name have foundation in the back. They had all these little gadgets, and they says, and you can get these grants. And they says, and we can collect the artifacts, we can get them documented. You know, you can put yourself, you know, like you know, get paid for it. You know, and they says, and let's just see how far we can take this. So I says, okay, let's do it. So anyhow, now remember, I still only been, what now, a week and a half maybe. And so I'm still trying to catch up from my internet being down for a week. So I got their names, I got their emails, their home and their cell phones. Yeah, I got all their information so that I can start working on this project. And it's not, there's a lot of things. I'm sitting here because I'm thinking, should I tell you the rest? I should. Let me think about it. Because already the money's coming in. Okay. So, I mean, and the universe is working with us too. I mean, number one, universe. The universe has a tendency to put you with people that you need to be with, gives you opportunities that you need to have in order to continue. And this is so when I got home from all this, we get a letter from we get a call from the attorney telling us that there's money that was put into a trust for $50,000 plus, and that all we had to do is come down and sign for it. So what do you think of that? That's how the universe works. This is what I was trying to say when yesterday, is if your heart is in the right place and you're honest. See, you have to be honest, and you have to stay. You can't compromise with the universe. You either are or you're not. You can't sit at both sides of the table. And when you are in balance and you truly, truly believe in the universe, all you have to do is ask and you will receive. Now you see, the universe provided, in this case, not only in money, but in people that can help with what we're trying to do. Because what I'm trying to do is not a selfish thing. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to save a forgotten race. I'm trying to save the skeletal remains. I'm trying to save the artifacts. I'm trying to save their story, save their sacred sites, reintroduce to the world the magic. And when you have a true heart, that's when the universe will work for you. And this is what I was saying about a teacher yesterday. Because you have to discern not only spirit, but the physical around you, friends, associates, everything like that. There's going to be a lot of people out there, and there are a lot of people out there right now that's saying they're one thing. You know, that they're teachers, that they're counselors, and you pay them X amount of money, they'll give some workshops, and they will teach you what they have learned, right? And so you go out because you're good-hearted. You really want to learn, and you know that there's another life waiting out there for you. So you go out there and you look, and you find these people. But I found out, you know, because I've been in it for almost 20 years, and I found out that if you're going to have a teacher, discern. Because they're going to be teaching you that your thoughts and your attitude and your belief system is what creates your reality. And that's true. I totally agree with that. But you have to walk your talk. So you need to go to these teachers. You need to investigate these teachers. What kind of home do they live in? Are they showing respect to their home, to their yard, to the trees, the flowers? What type of respect they show them? To their family? To, you know, are their kids clean? Are they clean? You know, because they have to show respect for themselves too. You also need to know what their finances are. Because if they really believe in what they're saying, because if you don't believe and you just say it, you create this wall, and none of these gifts are going to come through to you. Okay, you might as well just be spitting in the wind. So you know, how successful are they with the universe? What's the universe providing them with? Enough money, you know, to get by. A decent car to drive? Are they, you know, how do they feel towards themselves? How do they feel towards their family? You know, there's a lot of things that you need to check into. And if you're not seeing integrity, honesty, and provisions that the universe has given them, then go find somebody that is successful in their teaching. And when you find somebody that believes in themselves, they won't lie to you. There's many light workers that have started out with integrity, but have fallen. And with this new Trump era, they're seeing that maybe it's okay to do a little white lie. You cannot, little white lie is as bad as a big white lie or a big black lie. Because a little white lie gets you to step over that threshold of integrity. And then the next day or so, you take another step. And each step that you take over that line, you get deeper and deeper into the dark side, to the point where you can't get out. And the problem is, if you got the wrong teacher, they're going to be pulling you right in with them. And I don't want that to happen to any of you. I don't charge for my, I get on these shows, and I talk. And I share everything I know with all of you. I don't charge for it. Nothing wrong with charging for it. Anything, though. I know great teachers. Diane Palm is a great teacher. She charges. But, you know, you got to pay your bills. Because if you don't pay your bills, then you're kind of falling right back into that negative hole. So so that's fine, as long as you're telling people I charge, and stick with what, and give them their money's worth, you know. And be there. I mean, even after your classes are done and over with, you should always be there, because they're your responsibility. Okay, I'll hide it. Brett will get it. I'll hide it under the comforter. But they'll always be your responsibility. So you should be available to them whenever they need help. Well, it kind of depends. I mean, some people, they just want to visit and take your energy, But I mean, you still have responsibility to your own people. So, and as you're checking out a teacher, you also have the responsibility of choosing wisely. You get what effort you put into something. And you do have to have complete faith, because it really does work. I'm a master at manifesting. Why? Because I totally believe that if I ask the universe, and it's not something for selfishness, and I ask with integrity, and I do no harm, and I do not lie, that the universe will provide. And it always has. And people are amazed at what I can, manifest. And they say, "How do you do it?" And it's just like, well, that's how it all works. Hi, Mary, all the way from Corby, Northamptonshire, England. Hi, Michael Taylor. Thank you for joining us. I'm all the way here in cold country, Wisconsin, USA. So, but so anyhow, this is how it works. But until you find your teacher, you're always welcome to come to my websites or Facebook sites, or email me, or listen to my shows, interact with me, and I will be there for you. And it won't cost you anything. I charge for my tours, yes. But as far as instruction goes and being there for all of you, I am. That's free. And then, but I don't do classes and charge, so don't come to me for that. But I do know people out there that I can suggest to you that you can go to, that I trust, and that I think that will steer you, in the one that I recommend the most, because I've watched her for years, and that's Diana Palm. She's excellent. And when it comes to me learning, that's who I feel comfortable with. And she's, I think she's in Wisconsin. Yeah, I know she's in Wisconsin. And you can find Diane Palm at she's on Facebook, Diana Palm, Diana, and then Palm. And then there's others as well. But this is the one that I'm just saying that's what I mean. I'm sure that there's other ones out there that I can suggest, Contact me, tell me, hey, got this teacher, or I'm thinking about using this teacher. What do you think of her? I'll tell you. They may not like it, but I don't care, because I would rather have you safe. And if you learn the right way, you'll stay forever, and you'll be a positive factor in this world. But if you're taught the wrong way, a lot of problems arise from it, and I don't want that for you guys, okay? But so anyhow, we're on our way now. remember when, let's see, this guy here, this is Bruce. Oh, hold on. See him right, he's the third one down. Well, there's actually Bruce, Hardwick, and Dwayne. Okay. And they're Native American. Now this one here, well, both of these guys, they're light workers, spiritual healers. They have even had audience with Gandhi. Gandhi. They have done prayer at the Eiffel Tower by request. They've been all over the world bringing peace into our world. They're amazing people, and they help with this conference. But anyhow, and that's also Carl Johansson, and I think he's like 80 some years old. But Brad heard Bruce Hardwick was up doing a lecture Saturday night, I believe it was, and he made an announcement well, in his talk. He says, I've noticed that my good friend Mary Sutherland is here. And he says, Mary Sutherland, he says, you listen to, because she speaks truth. I mean, wow. This man has been invited to Washington, to France, to India, Jerusalem. He has England. He has met princes and kings and presidents, to do these sacred ceremonies. And that's what he said about me. And that really made me proud. I mean, come on. There's rich and there's rich. And I think I'm very rich to have the friends that I have. And as a matter of fact, he and part of his tribe are going to come down next summer, and they want to see these haunted woods of ours, our sacred sites of Burlington. And they want to do some spiritual work and cleanse the land, and stop in and talk to some of our founding fathers that have always discredited the sacred sites of Burlington. And let's see, there was another, let's see, hold on. Anita, this is really cool. I love what Anita did, Anita Meyer. She actually blew the lid, whoops, there she is. She blew the lid off she decoded that monument from the money pit, and found out that it had been mistranslated, where they were thinking that, they've been digging in there forever looking for gold and monies because, they said that, this treasure, right? Well, when she took this, and because she's an expert in Hebrew, and so Israelite Hebrew, and so anyhow, she decoded or translated something entirely different, which she brought to the conference, and that was the kingdom of the treasures of the kingdom lie within. Well, these people thought that, apparently they had not known the words of Christ, that you find the kingdom of heaven within. So apparently when they read it, they thought the treasures were within. because the monument was like right over the pit. So for years they've been trying to find gold and treasures when the kingdom of heaven, or the kingdom of these treasures, laid with him. So that was pretty cool. I like that. And then Wayne May was there giving support. Frank Joseph was there giving me support. I've written several articles and provide pictures for Ancient American Magazine, which is, the publisher and editor is Wayne May. And anyhow, and he has the backing of the Mormons. And let's see, there's just one person I really need to check into it a little bit more, but Bruce Hardwick and Dwayne Kinnard are Ojibwa cousins. Bruce and Dwayne do not give us a title for their talks. They are spirit-inspired, and they bounce off some of the topics they have heard throughout the conference. Always dear and uplifting, we look forward to this very special closing words to end our conference until next year. You know how everybody says that they're psychic, that they can read your mind, or they have the ability to see and or know what you're thinking, getting into your mind. Anyhow, I loved it because Bruce, in his closing remarks, he says, a lot of people think I'm psychic. He says, I'm not psychic. He says, but I do know how to converse with the soul. I thought, wow, because isn't that what we're doing? Now, soul, what is the soul? Souls, animals have souls. People have souls. All living life has a soul. So if you can tune in and connect to the soul, then you are going to be wonderful when it comes to reading tarot or runes, because you're communicating with the soul. So from now on, somebody says, are you psychic, Mary? I'm going to say, no. I just communicate with the soul. Back and forth, back and forth. Merging of two souls coming together. Isn't that wonderful? I loved it. I loved it. And then there's, I was looking for, Scott Walters was there. America Unearthed, the History Channel. He was up there. And I was able to talk to him a little bit along with his wife. His profession is a forensic geologist, and he works for them up there as a advisor. And so anyhow, he got to know me, Well, I have so many friends up there, Frank Joseph, Wayne May, Joe, and there's Judy, and then of course what Bruce had to say. So anyhow, it was kind of hard to snub me. And how could you snub me anyhow? I got such a big mouth. It's like, and I'm in the room, the people are going to notice, right? So anyhow, there was this one person though, and I wasn't aware of this organization by the Native Americans. I'm wondering if it, I'm thinking it's Ken Mishigog. the Hauntaville community. He is what is that? Pot, Pot, Potawatomi chief, and anyhow, he has this organization set up, and he says he's even went up against the FBI and stopped them, but he controls this organization, Native American, different groups, not just one, but groups. And he told me that when I contacted the local Indians in the Burlington area when they first started destroying the mounds, they said that they would not help me because it wasn't on Indian land. It wasn't on reservation land. He told me, they told you wrong. They lied to you. He says, we are the guardians of the ancient people, regardless of color, regardless of tribe. It is our job to protect our ancient ancestors. So he says, we have gotten together many times and stopped the people digging up graves for construction work, for road work and stuff like that. He says, if this continues down there in Burlington or wherever, he says, you call me. He says, I will have a group down there so fast. And he says, we have actually forced the FBI to back down. He says, we have the power. And we use that power. He says, I can walk into a town, put my finger up like that, look at those guys and say, stop. And they have to by law. And he says, and I'm on your side. And so it's like, wow. Okay. Thank you. So he's going to be coming down as well. And I've got his information as well. So in the next week or so, that is my plans, is to continue working on this bridge program so that I can, instead of me having to hold something up like this, I can just have it, click on a scene and it pops up and, everything's nice. But I also want to follow up on these, the ancient burial mounds. Start up a nonprofit organization, get down there and talk to Joan and Dr. Joan Price and a few others and see what we can do as far as setting up getting grants. And if this thing works out, there's this bed and breakfast in Burlington that sits on a temple mound. And there's a few of you that know where it's at. It's where that bed and breakfast is. If I can get that grant, and I'm very good at manifesting, and if I can get that grant, I'm going to see if we can't purchase that mound, because it's just private right now, private land. But we all know what it is. And if I can get that bed and breakfast, I'm going to turn it into a museum / bed and breakfast so that people can sleep on a pyramid, and we'll have the museum, and it's all going to be based on the artifacts found in that particular area, which the town of Burlington says do not exist. But I have found them at the Logan, Logan Anthropological Museum in Beloit, Wisconsin. So I'm going to be going around and documenting tens of thousands of artifacts found in the Burlington area, Burlington, Milwaukee, Kenosha, in that area, and getting them documented, and eventually put that into this museum. Now, and I will be hiring people to run it because I will never live in Burlington again. I know I've got a couple people in mind already to maybe run it, to oversee it. And so I'm very, very pleased how everything has worked for us. And I thank the universe, God/goddess, and all the holy ones that have worked with us through the years, and now has working with me to help me to save all these sacred sites in the area. So, Art Greenfield, Mary, we need to spread the word that the aliens are messing with the Yellowstone caldera in an attempt to make it blow. A saucer craft was seen at Yellowstone a few days ago, flying low and slow over the cracks. Documentaries about the supervolcano itself. Now, Art, we know that these UFOs are going in and out of volcanoes, and we also know that they are, as long as I've been studying UFOs, it's always been that we know that these alien crafts have been observing these volcanoes. So are you sure that they're not observing them instead of trying to mess with them? What do you think? I know that you do not like aliens. I know that, Art, because we go back, 16 years? Hold on. 16, 17, 18 years we go back and, talking about aliens. And so they did what Art says, they did that with Mexican volcanoes to make them blow. Possibly. Or they're just observing them. Problem is with the and yourself, Art, I totally believe in what's been going on in your life, and I've also experienced alien contact. I've never had abduction, but I have had contact, and I've been up so close to UFOs. I've been able to photograph them and actually photograph the symbols that are on their ships, and photograph the aliens themselves as they're looking out the door at me. But I know that there's the negative ones out there, but I've never experienced them. And I think that I would kind of like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I like these aliens, just don't like the reptile sapiens using us as a food resource. Now I have not encountered a reptilian. I don't think, because they're shapeshifters. So I mean, they could be sitting, and you could be sitting right there talking to them and totally think that they're human. I don't know if they're so much shapeshifters as they are mind benders. They can get people to see something that's not there, yeah, I've done articles about these reptilians abducting people and taking them down into the cave systems of the Superstition Mountains, and they're no good. They're bad. I don't think. Well, the thing is, they have a reptilian brain, of course. They're cold-blooded. They don't have empathy. I still, to this day, think that the humans are broke into two separate races, or separate kinds, or two separate species. And of course, species can have other species within that species, you know, so I'm not just saying there's only two races here, but there's two species of humans. One is cold-blooded, like your reptilians that you're talking about, where the humans have a reptilian brain. They're cold-blooded, and they're the psychopaths, the sociopaths, the narcissistic people, humans of the world. They don't think like us, and we keep giving them chance. Us warm-bloodeds, we keep giving them chances after chances after chances, thinking that they are like us, but they're not. Their whole thinking is different than ours. Like, because there's cold-blooded humans and there's warm-blooded humans. The warm-blooded humans are the ones that have empathy and sympathy, and they like being honest. They like having integrity. They care for the animals. They care for humans and other humans. They suffer. They feel other people's pain. They also can celebrate another person's happiness. The warm-bloodeds, they could never, ever understand the cold-bloods, nor could the cold-bloods ever understand them. I believe that the cold-blooded humans, they look exactly human, and they are human, but they come from that species, that reptilian species, maybe evolved from them millions of years ago. But nonetheless, they're real, and they're very, very dangerous. And most of the people in this world do not realize that there are cold-blooded and warm-blooded humans. So the warm-bloodeds treat the cold-bloodeds like they are warm-blooded, and the warm-blooded, they just kind of camouflage themselves to fit in with the warm-bloods, and they learn by watching, what, even though they have no emotion, no feelings, they'll watch their friends grow up, and the friends cry, or and so they'll kind of put it in their head, okay, in situations like this, I should cry, and in other situations, I should laugh. And so they learn to mimic the characteristics, the personalities of the warm-blooded, so that they can hide among you. And if you ever read the Emerald Tablets by Phil, he warns people of the serpent race, or this reptilian race, and he says they look like they're human, but they're not. And they want to destroy the human race, the warbloods. They want to destroy our planet. They will take over our Congress and our Senate and the world leaders. And we will not even know it, because we're seeing them as human, not realizing who they really are. And it's only through harmonics, music of some sort, or only through sound, that's how it was. Only through sound will you know them. Will they be exposed, as to who they are. And so, and I know that when I was down in the Yucatan, Art, and this one native was talking to me, and he says, we put S, I think it was SH into our word, or we used to put SH into our word because our enemy could not pronounce it. So when a spy would come into our ranks, and us using the SH, they couldn't curl their tongue to create it, and so thus the people of the Yucatan would know that they were spies, and were reptilians, and were killed or scooted off the island. So, and yeah, you see, these are the same people that you've seen human sacrifice, that practice blood and human sacrifice. They are reptilian. Now, there was people probably born among the tribe that were born with empathy, born as blood. Maybe they were born as a warm blood, but if they were breeding among themselves, they would probably all been cold-blooded. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many people of Israel died. If you go into the Mahabharata part, you'll hear about something very similar to this, but they're referring to Vimanas. Fiery serpents, they were Vimanas. And biting them, that was the sting of their bullets coming out of their craft, their flying crafts. So it's always great to read the Bible, but you also need to go in and start reading the Mahabharata. And you'll see that these fiery serpents that were biting people, that was they were like jets, military jets, and when they were stinging the people with bullets. They also refer to them as insects, biting insects, grasshoppers. There's different ways that they characterize it, but if you read it, the war, the Mahabharata war, you'll realize that this is not what Numbers is referring to. Okay, so anyhow, I'm just kind of like updating you. Puppy's just gone, but I think some good thing. It's really nice because we get so caught up in the darkness, and we get so caught up in the Trump area, and people fighting and distrusting and hating and shooting people, and and condemnation, and oh my God, it's so dark. And then you get away, like I did going up to Michigan, because it's like I'm watching the history of these wonderful races, just disappearing and nobody caring. And then I went up there and it's like, wow, you guys care. Wow, you guys have been working on this for a long time too. And I'm taking their suggestions, they're taking my suggestions, and there is a world out there. There is sunshine. There is happiness. But we get so clouded up, our mind gets so clouded as to destruction, prophecy. We can't be happy for the day because we're so scared of what's going to happen tomorrow. That's what was going on though. So, but through keeping you scared and not appreciating what's going on today in your life, it keeps your vibration low, and they can keep you prisoners. You create your own reality based on the information they're feeding you. So what you need to do is turn off the TV, go out there and take a nice fall walk, play in the snow, help a neighbor, hurricane survivors, help your neighbors, bring them some food, water, friendly conversation, a lot of different things. So you create realities, happy, promising, hopeful realities by getting out of the muck and rethinking. Black is now going to be white. Sad is now going to be happy. Make plans for the future. Not plans that, North Korea is going to have a nuclear, we're going into World War III. You don't want that. Even if it happened, it's going to happen. You're not going to, you're not going to stop it by worrying about it or even posting about it. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the day for what it is and the promise of the future. Because when you start thinking in a positive way, what you're going to do is you're going to create a positive future. And there will be others that will follow and join you. Right? So anyhow, I'm going to let you all go. I'm glad. So, oh, wait. Art says the fiery was that they used bright searchlights to find and drag the people out of their houses at night. Similar to Egypt, where the serpents went into everyone's house at night and took away the firstborn. Currently, they have a contract with the U.S. government. Oh, I am sure they got contracts with the U.S. government. We've got right there in Bong, we have a military base, and we know that they're working with aliens because we see the UFOs coming in all the time, and then they disappear. I mean, and we know that it's an underground facility there. I've had the administrator of Bong Recreational Park actually come to me and tell me that what he has seen. But we're going to keep on making things happen. Yeah, it's bad. Art says they're taking over 800,000 people per year. What we need to do, though, is we got to find out who they is. We got to prove it that they exist. And then we have to find out who these 800,000 people are and where they're taking them. Just a sentence like that, it's not going to, it's not credible. I know it, you know it, but in order for people to believe in all this stuff, we have to have a little bit more substance. And I'm sure, Art, you've been working many, many years, so I'm sure that people need to go to your website and check it out and find out what you have to say. How's that? So check Art Greenfield out on Facebook. So anyhow, oh, guess what? I've been sitting here with this for, well, ever since I started the show. And but Brad made me a white Russian, so I can go around tonight saying I'm the dude. So, and this is how much he made it about an hour ago. So this is my first one, and that's how much I got drink, because I'm not a very big drinker, but it almost tastes like chocolate milk with ice in it, but with a little kicker. But in actuality, what did he say it was? Kahlua, a shot. I think it's like a shot of Kahlua, or maybe 2 shots of Kahlua, and 2 shots of vodka, and then you fill the glass up with milk, and you stir it, and it's really good. Well, Brad used to be a bartender, so he knows how to make these drinks. So it's like, cool. I don't drink, but he went and got this for me, so I kind of like him. He's probably going to turn me into an alcoholic, huh? But anyhow, dinner is ready. I have no idea what Brad's got cooking downstairs, but I enjoyed talking with all of you tonight. It was fun. And sometimes, I know that, that we're going to be going back to the tarot reading and all that stuff. But I'm just trying to play catch up with some of my friends. So you guys are my friends. So I've just been kind of wanting to I'm going to share some things with you. Share good things, you know, because you need to hear the good things, right? Love you guys. See you tomorrow.